Alrighty, so today I'm going to be talking about the entire Wubin X series. This is the X0 here, the Knight X0, and this comes in all different anodization options. And this one actually is the micro arc oxidation. It's the white version, but it does come with a whole bunch of colors as well. You can check on the Wubin website. I'll link a little below down in the description. And you can see here it's probably the smallest of all of them, made of aluminium. And I've actually got the version with the Samsung LH351D. You've got a TIR optic. It's an interesting optic because it's also got some kind of reflector in there. It looks like it's a kind of a combination reflected TIR. Never seen a TIR lens like this. So we've been added something different in there, and the beam profile is quite a wide beam profile, but you still get that center beam as well, that center hotspot. So it's almost 180 degrees, I believe, which is great because you can see into your peripherals. The bezel, basically, I mean, it's interesting. You've just got this bit here, and you can actually unscrew it and access the LED, I believe, but I haven't bothered to do that. Takes an 18350 cell, and I'll just show you what how it works. So the UI, basically you just click once and it remembers the last mode. Click and hold, and there's 4 modes, 1 2 3 4, and then double click to access turbo. If the light is off and you double click, it goes to the strobe mode. So it actually has to be on, and then you have to double click to access that turbo. Charging port is right underneath here, so it has onboard charging. There's also a bunch of trit slots. So here on the head, there's 8 in total if you count on the body. Great thing is that the battery is also replaceable if you unscrew the bottom part with some pliers, and I think that's a good option, especially if you are using this for a couple of years. That battery will start to degrade, and you can just buy your own and stick it in there. Produces 900 lumens. I was talking about the beam profile before. Quite a wide beam profile, but you still get decent throw, especially with this TIR hotspot in the center. It's not going to last for very long if you've got this thing running on high or turbo, especially if you keep reactivating turbo, but definitely on the lower modes, mode 1 and 2, you're going to get at least a couple of hours use out of it. Practicality wise, very easy to carry on you. You can stick it on your bag, in your pocket. It's quite light as well, but that it does feel very sturdy at the same time. Okay, so this is the X1. Over here, the largest of the lot, contains 3 XHP 70.2 emitters. In here, it's super bright and produces, like I said, 12,000 lumens. It's got a lot of throw as well, just due to the sheer amount of light that it produces. Really cool thing is that it actually has a fan in here. When you turn it on and it starts getting hot, and we'll start spinning up, dissipating that heat, so it can actually hold its output, 2,500 lumens of output for pretty much the entire duration. But if you've got it on that 12,000 lumen mode, it will ramp down eventually. It will produce a lot of heat, so that's actually a good thing. Takes 2 21700 cells. You can unscrew them and have a look at them as well, but Wubin do mention that this will void the warranty. They don't recommend actually going in there. So I just think it's a good thing if one day that you need to change the batteries for whatever reason, you do have access to that. They're not proprietary batteries or anything like that. You know, it's a pretty hefty flashlight, as you can see, but for the output, and especially sustained output, I think it's actually pretty good. And this slab sort of design fits better in your pocket, in my opinion, than some of those larger cylindrical flashlights that do take up a bit more space. They stick out of your pocket more, and it actually comes with a holster as well. UI is pretty similar, so you basically just turn it on. You've got to unlock it, 1 2 3 4, so 4 clicks to lock and unlock. So that's the lowest. Press and hold, 2 3 4, and then double click for turbo. Ridiculously bright. So great UI, quite easy. You know, I didn't even have to look at the instruction manual to figure out how to use this one. So if you are looking for the brightest out of all of the X series, this is definitely the one to get. And yeah, it does come with USB-C charging as well here on the side. So the X2 is almost like the smaller version of the X1. Looks quite similar, has that sort of 3 LED array in the head, and this actually uses 3 Osram P9 LEDs, and you know, you can see here, nice design, beautiful sort of cutouts everywhere. It doesn't have, I think it has any trit cutouts in this one, but again, it's kind of similar to the XO design. You've got the USB-C port underneath, and Woburn do say that these ports are sealed as well. They're weather sealed. So I was a little bit worried that, you know, obviously if you've got this thing open, there's no port cover really stopping the water from getting in there, but apparently it is water resistant, water and dust resistant, so you shouldn't have to worry there. Glass lands here in the front, and you've got orange peel reflector, but it does throw a significant distance. A nice beam as well, quite floody, and it's close to a 170, 180 degree beam, so you can see into your peripherals with a lot of hot spot as well. UI, again, very similar, so 4 clicks to turn it on, because I had it locked before, and you just basically click 2, 3, so it's only got 3 modes when you hold down the button, but you can double click to access turbo mode, which again gives you, I think, about 1.5 minutes of runtime before it starts ramping down. This light has two 14500 cells in here, and I think the orientation of them just being side by side like that allows you to get the extra runtime but without the extra length of the flashlight. So I do think that this slab design is something new, and it's not, I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's very easy to fit into your pocket. I think it's quite a comfortable little design. So if you're looking for something a little brighter than the X0 or even the X3, the X2 is a really good option. So this here is the Woburn X3, and this is the newcomer recently that Woburn has released. It comes with this charging box here, charging port, and it has a 3000 milliamp battery in there. The actual X3 has a 1000 milliamp hour cell in there, and wireless charging. You actually stick it in there and it will charge wirelessly. You'll get at least two charges out of this case when you're using it. The case can also function as a power bank, and you can connect this lanyard to the power bank into your phone. As you can see here, this nice little USB-C to USB-C connector on the front. Looking a little bit closer at the light, you can see there's a couple of LEDs here, the LH351D, and this is the 620 nanometer red light. It's made of polycarbonate. Mine glows in the dark as well. You got to charge it up a bit with another flashlight, and you've got a nice sturdy clip, quite similar to the X2 clip, just a tiny bit smaller. The head of my version has a micro arc oxidation coating, and the coolest thing is that you can actually flip the head so that it faces forwards or sides, so you can carry it on you on the edge of your pocket like that, or just as a normal torch. And the great thing also is that you can clip this onto your hat and just use it as a makeshift headlamp in this sort of orientation. It's got a couple of these TIR reflectors here. They're kind of mini versions of the ones that you see here in the Woburn X0. Okay, they produce quite similar beams, but just not as throwy because they're smaller. I'll just walk you through the UI. So switch on the light, and you can see there's actually a tiny little display there that tells you what mode the light is in. That's 1 lumen mode, and you can just click 50 lumens, 150, and it just cycles. Double click will give you 700 lumens. Click and hold, and you can access the red mode. So you've got 1 lumen, you've got 70 lumens, and the 20 lumen flashy mode. And that mode is great if you're using it as a warning light, or if you're riding a bike, or just as a hazard light in general. So that's pretty much it. So let's cut to the beam shots. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. All right, we're going to do a comparison between the X0, X1, X2, and X3, and we'll start off with the X0. And you know, this is on the lowest mode, not much light here, about a lumen or so of light. You can see it on the ground. If I hold, you can see it's getting a little bit brighter. Second mode, just sort of see ahead for a few meters, and peripheral vision, everything close by is pretty good. Okay, so maybe for a short distance. Okay, third ramp level. Okay, third ramp level. Still can see the path ahead to the right, but that's about it. You know, 10, 20 or so meters, it looks pretty clear. Again, okay, this is the fourth mode, and this is pretty, I would say this is a really nice combination of throw and flood, and really sufficient brightness for most purposes, this fourth mode. But you can bump it to turbo, and look at that. Wow, very impressive. Very impressive. And it does start to ramp down after a little bit, but I find that if you turn it off and reactivate the turbo, you get another 30 seconds of that high mode, and there's very sufficient heat sinking on this light as well. You can see it already start to ramp down a little bit, so I can turn it off, on, double tap, and you've got another shot of turbo. Okay, great sort of 180 degree beam. As you can see here on the camera, I mean, it's just almost looks like a flat line on the ground. I really like that. Okay, coming up next we got the X2, and this is the lowest mode, and yeah, you know, nice floody beam, more concentrated in the center. Even the lowest mode is really sufficient for walking. If you don't want too much light, still sufficient to see ahead of you a few meters. Second mode, well, especially in the sort of pitch black like this, it is great. More than enough light. Okay, trees to the left, it's illuminating the trees to the left. Little third mode here. Hitting those trees easily. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So it's out of the 3 modes, as you can see, and then turbo, double tap, and wow, look at that. This is pretty damn bright. And I like how the beam is, I mean, you just got this 180 degree line on the ground, so you can just see all into your peripherals as well. And like, it is ramping down very slowly, but it's doing a good job considering how small the host is. But you've got these 3 P9 emitters in there, and they have excellent efficiency, and they don't produce as much heat as well, so it's keeping up quite well. Okay, turn that off. Okay, got the Rubin X3, lowest mode, not really visible. 2, okay, 50 lumens. Nice sort of beam, and it does look funny because when you use it indoors, the beam does look rectangular a little bit, not rectangular, it's sort of square shape, but out here you really can't tell at all. It just looks smooth. Okay, 150 lumen mode. Okay, you can see those trees up there. It's got a decent amount of throw as well, which I think anyway is important. With even a smaller light like this, you can see that centralized hotspot, but you've got lots of spill as well. Almost 180 degrees forwards. Double press to get the 700 lumen mode. Great throw for such a little light. It does ramp down quickly though on this mode. You can sort of turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay. So look at that. You can see already ramping down. So turn it off, turn it on, and then double tap again. Another shot at turbo. I like how they all have a bit of throw as well as this beautiful smooth beam. Finally we got the X1 lowest mode. Lowest mode's decent. Yeah, pretty bright, good enough for walking. Okay, can't really see much into those trees in the background. Let's hold it down. Second mode, getting brighter and very, very floody. It's more floody than anything. There's more lumens focused in the center of the beam. Okay, third mode, and this is even brighter. Lots of spill, and the trees to the left are starting to be illuminated, especially the one close to me. The one in the back is also illuminated. Okay, fourth mode, and this is pretty bright. It's almost starting to blow out the camera close to the front, but you can see it's illuminating those trees so easily there to the left, and the path ahead all the way to the end. I can't quite see the trees at the back. I wouldn't say could be just tinting the trees a little, yeah, slightly, the white sides, but yeah, the one to the left all good. Okay, cycle back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turbo. And this is really, this is really incredible. It's just blowing out the camera close to the front, but trees to the left, no issues at all. I can see all the trees out in the back. It's tinting all the trees out in the back section. I'll just go for a quick walk.